time of the year. It is college football Saturday, and Joe and I have a slew of guests for you. We got a ton of games to cover. We've got college football, of course. It's college football Saturday, and that's what we generally concentrate these shows on. If the Cappers have picks in college hoops or NBA as well, we're certainly not going to stop them from giving them out. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so excited for today. It's going to be a great one.
I'm watching on TV and I can see the weather. They're adding Columbus, it looks like, for the Buckeyes game against Michigan State. It looks like it's chilly out there. I don't know.
I bet you it is.
It looks pretty cold around the country. I heard Brian said yesterday in Philly it was 60 or 70 though. Um,
Oh, wow.
but
That is nice and warm.
certainly doesn't look like that in Columbus this morning though, in Ohio, not too far from Pennsylvania.
I'm guessing that their weather is not much different than mine. We're sitting at a nice +4 for the day as our high.
That's Celsius. So that's like
Yeah.
about 40, right? It's
Yeah. Around 40.
about 40 degrees. My teeth chatter at 50. It's like that's just how it is. I've always been like that though. I'm from Miami. I never saw snow until I was, 15 years old, and just never got used to it. I've lived in cold places, Boston, Chicago, and like I said, never ever got used to it.
It definitely has to hurt these players hitting that solid cold ground today.
Tiba, glad to see you. Been a long time since I've seen a lot of That's the beauty of all the things that have happened over the recent years. It's kind of like blessing and a curse. It's like some people I haven't seen. They've never found me again. And they're still finding me. It's pretty cool, right? But anyways, still doing the same thing. Still the same act.
Same act, different T-shirt.
Yeah, Joe's starting to learn that we could hold it together during football season, okay, on our show, Rod and Brian and I. But you get into college basketball, and it's basically like a third grade classroom. It's it's too much.
It definitely can be.
It's too many games. It's too many bets. We can't hold it together. And it's it definitely goes off the rails in a hurry. So just it is what it is. Does. But we have a new guest with us this morning, Joe. First timer, a guy who's been on the site for a while and someone we've known for a while. But I think it's the first time you've had him on the show too. So
yeah, absolutely. First time meeting him. I'm excited.
Well, this is the anti-Mitch when it comes to college football. This is Damian Soch. He you could see what team he roots for, and it's not the good guys, But
we're the good guys.
No, not the not good guys. Really the forgotten team this year, Damian, in college football. They only have one loss this season, and it's against it's one of the highest ranked teams in the country. So while Ohio State has a ranked loss to a team that that's ranked up there in the top 5 as well, they seem to be getting a lot more favorable treatment, even though Notre Dame has clearly played the much tougher schedule and really has done more damage against that tougher schedule, including that thrashing of Wisconsin. I mean, that really, to me, is the benchmark game here, is that this is a team that's kind of like, yeah, they've got it together now. They're not playing the same, and all that stuff. But it's like, I mean, what do you think? I mean,
it is. I mean, they really are kind of getting the short end of the stick here. I'm hoping things can still work out, that they can make it in the college football playoffs. It's going to be tough. I mean, obviously they got 2 games left. They should handle both those games rather easily with Georgia Tech and Stanford. You look at the Ohio State, as you mentioned, and they got that loss to Oregon sitting out there. Notre Dame's only loss is an undefeated Cincinnati team. I think Notre Dame plays them again. I think Notre Dame beat Cincinnati. I mean, Notre Dame, the chance to get them early on in the year, they're having trouble defensively, trouble with that offensive line. Those are 2 things that they have really solidified, and they're playing their best football of the season going forward. When I look at how the playoff rankings are right now, Ohio State being ahead of Cincinnati, I just think maybe the playoff committee's looking at, all right, you put these 2 teams at a neutral site, who's going to beat who? And I think they just pick Ohio State, which I would happen to agree with. I think Ohio State is better than Cincinnati. But when you look at the body of work, you got to look. They have a loss. Cincinnati doesn't. Cincinnati's beaten a top 10 ranked Notre Dame team at their place. So It'll all shake out, I guess, in the coming weeks here. And as a Notre Dame fan, I'm hoping that it shakes out for the best for them and they get into playoffs.
I don't think you can, and the thing is, maybe it's how I grew up. Maybe it's the college football that I don't, that I knew and that I don't know anymore. But the way it always was, and the way the way that we know it to be, is that because there is no true playoff system, that every Saturday is a playoff. And regardless if that happens in week 1 or week 15, you lose, well, now it's out of your hands. And especially as a Miami fan, where we've never gotten the favorable treatment in the polls at all. I mean, we won 38 games in a row and started the season number 6, in the polls after winning 20 in a row. So it's like, we know this, right? And the thing is, it's like, Ohio State is given favorable treatment, but we've seen time and time again when they don't enter the playoff undefeated, they get shellacked. I mean, in these games. And the Big Ten generally gets shellacked as well. And it's like, if anything, Michigan State has a better argument here than Ohio State. And if Michigan State, pulls the upset today, which I think they certainly have a reasonable chance of doing, they're in.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I guess maybe the answer is some expansion. Maybe they take it to 8 teams. I'd be perfectly fine with that. I don't think a college football fan out there wouldn't be. But then, before they got into the playoff system, one of my most favorite things about college football was the fact that every day essentially was a national championship game, because if you lost, you were toast. You were done. I remember growing up, every team that won the national championship, they basically were unblemished. They were undefeated. It's not the case anymore. And I guess with the playoffs, that's just how it is.
But I think when you have a system which, a team like Cincinnati isn't going to get a fair shake, and it's like, you get both sides of the coin here. It's like, at what point is, you bash a team like Baylor for not taking a knee, and then you talk about the eye test and not impressive enough wins with Cincinnati. It's, they beat the same teams that Ohio State beat and had the same results against the point spread that Ohio State did. Tulsa and Indiana are the 2 teams that they played. And then the both teams played against a ranked, top 10 ranked team. Cincinnati won, Ohio State lost. Yet they're ahead. And it doesn't really come down to that anymore. It comes down to TV ratings. And that's why I'm surprised Notre Dame's not deeper into the mix here, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do get in at this point, because I think what we're going to see is, Georgia will play Alabama. If Alabama loses that game, they are out. And no one's really talked about that. And this is not a great Alabama team. This is a good Alabama team, but this is not an elite Alabama team, just like this is not an elite Ohio State team. This is not. This is an Ohio State team that beats the bad teams up. This is what they are. So we're gonna find out today. But anyways, let's get to your pick. We could talk college football. I have a feeling we could do an entire 3 shows on it. And Joe knows it because she's had to sit through it with me before with other guys.
Absolutely. I think you should just have a full-time dedicated college football show.
Just
all year
24
long.
hours of college football. 7.
You could talk it 24 hours a day. I absolutely know that.
I'd probably get onto some side topics. But Damian, what game do you got for us today as far as a free pick?
As far as the free pick going today, guys, I'm going to take a look at the Iowa State-Oklahoma game. Both teams are coming into this game off of a loss from last week and really kind of disappointing performances from last week. Iowa State, they're now 6-4. They lost to Texas Tech. And Oklahoma suffered their first loss of the season. They dropped them to 9-1. And we're just talking about the playoffs. That loss to Oklahoma was really devastating because it pretty much takes them out of playoff contention for the most part. Even though Iowa State, they're coming into this game at 6-4, they have a very good defense. It's the number 10 ranked defense nationally in yards per game allowed. They're giving up just 111.5 rush yards per game and under 195 yards passing per game. So no matter who's going to be a quarterback for the Sooners, whether it be Spencer Rattler or Caleb Williams, I think they're going to have trouble moving the ball against Iowa State's defense. The Sooners managed just 260 yards of total offense against Baylor. I think Iowa State, statistically at least, is better than Baylor. And like I said, they're going to have trouble moving that ball. Offensively, Iowa State, they're not a team that's going to wow you, but they're solid. I mean, Breece Hall, he almost has run for 1,200 yards this year. Iowa State quarterback Brock Purdy, he's a senior. It seems like he's been there for like the last 20 years quarterbacking Iowa State. I just seems like he's always there, and he's not going to be faced with that environment in Norman. And I like Iowa State with the points in this game, and an upset by the Cyclones would not shock me in this one.
Joe?
Yeah, I have to agree.
Norman.
Pardon?
Senior day in Norman, I believe.
Yeah, I just really think this is an Oklahoma team that we should have seen win by so many more points in a lot of these games. I think Iowa State keeps it close in this. They're 3-0 against the spread this season after a loss. I think this is a team that's way hungrier today. I like them plus the points, and I agree with you. They could win this outright in an upset here.
You know, I agree as well. Matt Campbell's had a disappointing year at Iowa State. This is a team that a lot of people projected to win the Big 12. Last week's performance against Texas Tech was absolutely pathetic. I think we can only say that it was probably a look-ahead spot to this. They fell behind early. They somehow managed to come back. I don't even know how they managed to even come back in that game. And then they lose on like a 78-yard field goal or something. And, you know, if you put yourself in position to lose like that, well, you can lose like that. You know, it's a game that should have been a no-doubter, kind of like one of those. It's one of those games that if it's Urban Meyer coaching, you know, it's a workmanlike effort. You know, 21-8, you know, or something, right? And it's like, but it wasn't. And it was like, you know, Matt Campbell is always mentioned for these big coaching jobs that come up. And Lincoln Riley, of course, his name is out there for that LSU job. And we know they pay up, you know, at LSU. He's probably looking $9-10 million a year that he would have to turn down if he turns down that LSU job. So I think, you know, both these coaches, it is a big game. But I think that we've seen the Oklahoma defense over the years just way too soft, and I think Iowa State was just looking ahead last week to this one, and you know, I think it's going to be a good game. Oklahoma certainly has the athletes. These teams played in the Big 12 championship game last year.
I think also this line looks fishy. I would have expected Oklahoma to be favored by a lot more, and I think it's just begging you to take Oklahoma.
All right. Well, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
All right, guys. You know, it's a huge day of sports, you know, basketball, football. I've got 5 college football plays out there for sale, including my college football game of the month. You can get all those in a 5-pack for just $40. We have a really solid card going here in college football today. I absolutely love it. And then college basketball right now, I'm 500 units on the season. I have a college basketball player out there for sale. So college basketball is your thing, hop on board in that. So looking forward to a real big Saturday, real big weekend, guys.
Well, we know you got to run, so we appreciate you coming by and taking a couple minutes to spend with us. Welcome back anytime. We hope to see you again soon.
All right, thank you, guys, and you have a good weekend.
You too. Damian Soch, first time on the show. Nice job, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's great.
I like his pick there. I think that's a really solid one.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the fun games early. And, you know, there's a good of these early noon games. There's a bunch of good ones, and that's one that's certainly going to make my rotation on the board. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Got, like I said, a lot of guests for today. I'm just when you guys see me scrambling like this, it's usually I'm just trying to get the next guest set up behind the scenes here. I'm just kind of running everything. But next up is going to be Shane Mickles joining us from Minnesota, and I have a very specific question for him as we bring him on board. And you know, so Shane is in Minnesota, and Joe knows we talk about Minnesota teams all the time on our morning show. But so the Minnesota Wild, right? So someone was eating a hot dog, right? And there's a blotch. The ketchup, the mustard, and the relish, it all fell on the floor, and it kind of looked like this shape and kind of like clouds you see in the sky. And they said, okay, let's just make this our logo. Is this what happened here?
Yeah, I think so. It might have been.
Because
I mean,
it could be the worst logo in all of sports.
Yeah, it is. And the colors are even worse. I mean, I hate it, but.
Well, it is ketchup, mustard, and relish, and you know the thing about it is it does look like, you know, it took me over a year to figure out what it was, and finally Ruffalo had to explain it to me. You know, that's how bad it got. You know, because I just call it the smudges. I thought it was like a cyclone or something. You know, like when you see it, it was like until he explained it, I just thought it was like a cyclone or something. I could not figure it out.
Well, and the mascot is just makes no sense either. It's just this long-haired bear-looking thing.
Yeah, the mascot is worse than the logo.
Yeah, and he wears an 18,000 on the back of his jersey to represent all the fans. It's just a big old kid.
Sounds like a dumpster fire to me. We'll be fading the smudges sometimes in the neighborhood near you, based on that alone. I know they have a good team this year, and just like the Gophers have been playing pretty well this season too. And the Vikings, I really thought that they would be better this season with the fans in the stands. I think they have a tremendous home field advantage, but we're going to find out tomorrow just exactly how good it is with Aaron Rodgers heading into town. But I just think we talk about I love I love the stuff outside of the actual game. Joe's had to sit through the torture of hearing me talk about all the time. And, I love the way the Vikings do the skull chant and the blowing of the horn. They do the whole thing. And it's but it's just not working for them this year. It's you think it's a coaching issue there?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for a defensive coach, I mean, injuries have definitely been an issue. But, I mean, if you get a defensive coach and your defense struggles, it's pretty tough. And also, I mean, Kirk Cousins gets a lot of hate, but I'm one of the Vikings fans that actually doesn't mind him. I just don't think that they give him the chance to win. I mean, they're treating him like, the Gophers treat Tanner Morgan. Third and 7, and they're afraid to throw an interception, so they throw the 2-yard check down to the fullback. I mean, he's got an arm. He's got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen outside. Just let him air it out. I mean, I don't want to bring up a sore spot for Joe, but I mean, last week against the Chargers, they let him air it out, and it worked. So I think but Zimmer, it doesn't matter, how bad the running game is. They just got to keep running the ball, and I think it's time for a new voice inside that locker room for sure.
Yep, I just adjusted the volume, so you guys let me know if that's better. But anyway, Shane, what do you got going on today for free pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this Iowa Illinois game, and if you like a classic Big Ten boring, smash mouth, run the football type of game, this is going to be the game for you. Both of these teams aren't great offensively, but one thing that Illinois is not getting enough credit for is their defense. This is a team that's, shut down Sean Clifford. Basically every quarterback they face, they've shut down. They force a team to go to run the ball, and every one of the last 7 games for Illinois has finished under this 38.5 mark. It looks like the Iowa might have something with their new quarterback here, but I think Illinois' defense makes this a one-dimensional game. I think this can be a big game where both teams just run the ball, not a whole lot of passing. I think it's going to be ugly. I see a 17-10 type of game, 17-13 maybe type of game, but this game's going to go way under the total.
Joe, this does have all the makings of the type of game we come on at halftime and people say, what a stinker this is,
And that we love.
I love these games. These are my games.
I love strong defensive games too. And I think this is definitely going to be one again. And I'm on Illinois plus the points. I think this is one that we're not going to see a whole lot of points, and it's just too many for Iowa to cover today. We also look at Illinois against Big Ten teams. They're 5-2 against the spread. So give me them plus the points.
I'm with Joe on
Low
this
score.
one. I'm with Joe on this one. I'm going to take the points as well with Iowa State, with Illinois against Iowa. It's just, this is my type of game, and I like these games not just because it's just defense, smash mouth, hard hitting, buckle up the chin strap football. I like it because the pace. Generally, these games move along very quickly. They're over in a hurry. It's like, you're in, you're out, and it's like you saw a good game in the process. To me, it's like you get into these passing games, these teams that are playing the spread offenses like that Oklahoma-Iowa State game. I mean, that game's going to be bleeding into, who knows when they're going to end that thing. That thing.
Tomorrow.
Right. It's like, but I think this is going to be a good one. I like the under. I like Illinois as well, just for the same reasons that Joe said. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points at all.
Well, and I think one other big key when you take games, because a lot of people see 38, 37, 40, it's just your mind thinks you got to take it over because there's got to be at least team, got to get to 20-20. But these teams, they do a lot of their scoring in the first half. Both of these teams are near the bottom of the college football in terms of points scored in the fourth quarter. So this isn't going to be a game where all of a sudden there's 17 points scored in the fourth quarter that pushes it over the total.
So one of the questions in the comments here is they're talking about you, but they said KBL, but it's KBO. You still covering that Korean baseball?
It's
Still your
funny,
thing?
Chris. I haven't paid attention to it. We're not covering it anymore on the site, and I really haven't paid much attention to it. Chris Ruffalo, a couple weeks ago, asked if I had paid attention, and last year when there was no sports, it was I was up till 3, 4 in the morning, watching these games. But with so many more sports on, I'm sticking more to the American sports or English soccer.
All right. Well, what do you got over at Pick Dogs today?
We got a little bit of everything. I've got a ton of college football, one NBA, college basketball, and they're all kind of just in random, different packs. I got a 7-pack college football, or you can get a 5-pack college football and a couple basketball. All sorts of different packages there for everything. The one I recommend is that early game or the early afternoon pack, 5-pack college football. It's got 3 Big Ten winners I really like in it, $34.95.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know you're on a tight schedule as well today, so we definitely appreciate you coming by. And, of course, we'll see you tomorrow, right, for NFL football?
I'm off tomorrow, but I will be back on next week.
Well, you got a pick for everyone for tomorrow then while you're here?
I like the Vikings-Packers under. I think both offenses are gonna struggle here. I think the Vikings defense is gonna show up with that crowd. Aaron Rodgers has struggled in U.S. Bank Stadium, and I like the under in that game.
He gets sacked a lot there, right? I mean, it seems that, in Seattle and there is where he seems to just get sacked like no one's business. But,
yeah.
Anyway, Shane,
Everson Griffin's gonna have his ears pinned back for him tomorrow.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by, and, of course, for the picks, and you can get Shane's picks over at Pick Dogs. Also, tons of free pick write-ups he does every day, so check those out as well.
Definitely. Have a good weekend, guys.
Best of luck, Shane.
Thank you. You too.
Shane Mickle. Good show so far.
Absolutely. I love all the picks so far today.
I do too. I just think that we're at that time of the season that the guys are really dialed in. It's like we're not like guessing anymore. We're not kind of like, hoping, whatever. It's kind of like we know these teams, and it's like there's one more week of the regular season left. There's a lot of look ahead games, this week of teams looking ahead where they have their big matchups are next week. Yeah. And, we see like the Oregon Utah game where Oregon's got the Civil War next week. And if you don't think that Oregon State, Oregon game is something, go take a look at the penalty yards in those games, over the years. It's the most. They wanted to cancel the game. It's like because they can't get the players to stop fighting, on the field to actually play the game.
Yeah,
that's how
your rivalry.
Oh, that is a rivalry, and of course, today we got Northwestern playing Purdue at Wrigley Field. We've got next week the Axe game, Minnesota, Wisconsin for the Axe. I should ask Shane about that. I'll probably have a lot more to say about it next week. Florida State is next week. Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Michigan, Ohio State. All big games. The trophy games. The old Oaken bucket will be out. I had to send Joe a picture of it. From
that was cool.
It's a big deal. It's not like it's a little thing. It's like on Thursday we'll see the Egg Bowl game. Between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and you'll see it's for these guys. This is the game they want to win. I mean, you want to win a championship, whatever, but this is the most important game of the season. For these guys, the Egg Bowl. It's kind of because you have to live with it for another year. It's like if you're not able to get it done.
Absolutely. I think we've got a lot of dogs barking today too. I'm loving some of them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm on a lot of dogs myself, and I'm still kind of picking through the college basketball world, but just kind of picking my spots. I kind of got bit yesterday on a couple games, but that happens. I won one, I lost two. It was kind of like I didn't love my third game, and it's happened to me 2 nights in a row. I didn't love my third game, and I lost them both. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to give out on days like that. I'm just going to give out just 2 individual picks instead of trying to do a 3-pack because I can't. I just can't nail them down. It's like I'm doing this third game, and it's just costing me. So
I think that's best, Mitch, for sure. Just leave it off.
And then there's other days where it's like you want to do every game, I saw Jovan.
I know. Today's one of those.
I saw Jovan here, and now he's gone.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess we'll just try and
We
fill.
lose him.
We lost him, but hopefully he's back shortly. If not, it's just us for the time being. So
There's no one else in the green room
Well,
today?
I'm still hanging out
we
here.
could bring Brian in, I guess.
Oh, of course we
You're
can bring
lucky-
Brian
You're lucky
in.
I'm so astute to my job. I'm sitting here just in case. I'm
Yeah.
like Superman waiting to jump in.
Yeah, we're kind of just sitting here. Let's see. Bring in Brian. Well,
Definitely good to bring Brian in nice and early in
we
here.
could also bring him back later. Why not? Anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Got Brian with us.
I'll be here.
Brian will be here as always. But yeah, I know Brian and I, we're at the time of the year where we probably agree on a ton of games, and then we strongly disagree on a lot of games. And I think, today is no different. And Brian's date is tonight. So we're all in tune for that one.
Absolutely. Look at those comments fly in, Brian. Everyone wants to know
I'm a
how
little worried,
it
though.
goes.
I haven't heard from her today, so I don't know. I'm a little... I don't
It's
know.
early in the day.
Yeah, it's
Don't
early.
choke, man. Don't choke. You got this.
Have confidence.
Yeah.
Girls love
Yeah,
confidence.
just show up.
Yeah. If you have as much confidence as you do in your picks, gold star.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the total opposite as far as that goes. Picks, I'm confident.
Carry it over.
Carry it over.
You got this.
Yeah, you just go load up on that charcuterie and show up with the board, as they say.
I went to bed last night. UNLV got it done. I was a little worried. They were never really, I don't think, outside of covering, but I thought they might be able to steal that game last night. But Rebels lost it, but it was a cover.
Yeah, I thought last night's games were kind of interesting, and I didn't give out any premiums in college football last night, but I would have gone 4-1. And in NBA, I didn't give out any premiums, and I would have been 9-0. I gave out every video pick I gave out in the NBA hit yesterday, every single one in the parlay. So,
I lost on Memphis, but hit on Air Force. So 2-1, not too bad.
liked Houston in that one. I liked, that was the one game I would have lost, was Nevada. I liked them in that game. It went to overtime. They were getting one. They lost by 2, and
I went to bed. They were up by 14. Was it 7 or 4? I forget. But I saw it went to 3 overtimes. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking the man up above getting me the W there.
Anyways, well, what do you got going on today? You got a free pick for everybody?
Oh, yeah, my free pick's a little bit of a kiss up here. I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes as I can bust on them. But I think they finally turned the corner despite losing to Florida State last week. Miami has a real shot with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, facing off against a very weak Virginia Tech team that normally own the Hokies. Miami Hurricanes normally own the Hokies 2-5 against the spread last 7 times these two teams have met. I think Miami is going to want to put last week far behind it. And I think Hokies have only covered one road game this season. They're 1-8 against the spread last 9 games, following a straight-up win. So I'm going to play Miami. I think it's -7, 7.5 in some spots. Try to get your best number.
Joe?
I'm a little worried about Miami today just because of the weather. I think it is definitely, if I was going to bet this game, how I would take it, unless I hit that under, because I do see with the rain coming, this one being a harder game for Miami, just with their passing game. And we're looking at a Virginia Tech team that does strong against that pass. I can't get behind Virginia Tech with the points, though. So give me the under in this one. I think that's my safest way to go with the rain falling.
I've seen a million Miami Virginia Tech games, and these games are usually super close, so I'm a little worried about the number. I think Miami can squeak it out, but if they lose by 4, I'm not surprised either. These games, there always seem to be dogfights. So
it's been that kind of season where Miami has to kick a field goal to win it. But
that's what I'm a little worried about. It's probably Manny Diaz's swan song here at Miami. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Mario Cristobal will be the next head coach. It's just a hunch. I know it will be someone with head coaching experience, and it's gonna be a big name. So
you can't think they're too happy down there. I just think they take out
Manny Diaz is gone. I mean, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He lost that Florida State game. You're gone. I mean, that's basically it's. Last week when Kevin Thomas said, "Well, it's not a big game for Miami," trust me on this one. He's gone. They lost to Florida State. He's gone. That's the only thing that's kept him in there, is that he's been able to beat Florida State. And if you lose to your rival at Miami and don't have a national championship season, you're gone. That's just the way that it works. And it's like, I know it's a high expectation, but that's what you sign up for when you take that job. It's like either you win the national championship, or you, at the very least, beat Florida State. And if you have Florida on the schedule or Notre Dame, you got to beat them too. And that's it. And we're not going to accept anything less. So Mario Cristobal, will return home, and we'll see what he can do. I think that they're just waiting to see what the situation, how it all shakes out at Oregon, where this team goes. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't coach the Ducks in the playoffs, and he's coaching at Miami. I wouldn't be.
Ducks aren't going to make the playoffs, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, they're pretty much in.
I think you're dreaming.
They're pretty much in.
No. Well, another loss and they're not in.
I mean, you still think Ohio State beat them. I mean, you're one of those people. You still think Ohio State beat Oregon. It's like you.
I think today is. I think today's a defining moment for.
Let me tell you what happened. They didn't win. Okay, they got slaughtered. It wasn't. If it was a fight, they would have stopped it. And if the game would have gone on another hour, Oregon would have scored every time they had the football.
I'll give the guys a bonus pick out there because I love everybody that watches this show. If they want an easy winner today, I should have had it as a premium. Ohio State's going to at least win by 21 points against Michigan State today. This is going to be the game you point to and say, hey, look, they beat the 15 in the nation, absolutely demolished them. So to me, I think the Buckeyes rolled today. I kind of kick myself I didn't have it as a premium, but I love Ohio State.
Jovan just texted he's not going to be able to make it. So it's fine.
I saw Ruflo was in there.
Yep. So we'll have, of course, yeah. We have plenty of guys, and Big Al will be here, and Rod. So we got plenty of people.
Yep.
But Joe has somewhere she's got to be anyway. But besides that, I think I got Michigan State on the money line personally. They're plus 680. I put 300 on it, and I put 500 on it actually, just because I put another 200. I had 300. And then I put 200, so it's plus 680. I think it pays like over $3,000 on the 500. Let me see exactly.
Tremendous return.
I'll tell you guys exactly. Well, it's easy money. So
no, I disagree.
Well, whatever, Ryan. I mean, it's not your type of bet. We know you would like to lay the goal. You like to get the goal and a half, and it's just not available.
Yeah,
for this one. True. But this is how you make money in sports betting: is you find these easy opportunities like this, where all the suckers are on one side, and you just load up on the other. So what happened is the Michigan State actually went to plus 725 on the money line as I put my bet in. I put 300. So I put 500 pays 3,400. Oh wait, no. That was what I originally had at 680. So my 500 was going to pay 3,400, but my new win amount is 500 pays $3,625.
You see, we're currently at minus 20, 19.5. It was about 18.
Oh, I don't care. I hope it goes to minus 50. I'll bet it again.
All right.
I mean, all the suckers are humping up on Ohio State. It's one of the most public teams out there.
It is, but not today. People are seeing the record
on Michigan
ESPN
team. This is the team that's ranked in the rankings because they get people to go to the games and to watch the games. There's no more public action than Ohio State team, but they haven't beaten a ranked team all season. And here's the are against a top 10 ranked team. And the last time they played a top 10 ranked team at home, they got it handed to them. That's
all right. Well, I see we got a lot of other people joining, so I don't want to be a ball hog here.
No, we got time because
you're not hogging the ball.
Because
you're good.
You're good because we got a ton of time. But I don't see it that way. What I see is an Ohio State team that hasn't beaten a ranked team all season, and they played a ranked team at home, and they got it handed to them. I think they're in for a world of hurt today. And we've seen Ohio State in these spots. I showed you my ticket from 2017 in a very similar spot on almost the exact same day, right? I showed you my ticket. Iowa was plus 20. I money lined them. I was at the Westgate. Money lined them.
I believe there's a similar
turned
feeling
it into
with
$30,000.
With Purdue when they played Ohio State, because I think
Purdue's not a ranked team.
Iowa.
Purdue's not a ranked team.
They weren't ranked, but I'm saying there was a
no, they weren't.
A similar
No, they weren't. Purdue was not a ranked team.
They were going to be able
They
to
lost
give
at
Ohio
home
State.
to Minnesota. Purdue is
I
not
didn't
a
say they
ranked
were
team.
a ranked team.
No, they're not.
I didn't say they were a ranked team. I'm saying there was some public sentiment that since Purdue did well.
But Purdue's not a ranked team. They're not a good team. They're not an elite. They're not a top 10 team in the nation. You're playing against a top 10 team in the nation that took Michigan, spotted them 25 points, and beat them. You're talking about a Michigan State team that's gone on the road, beat Miami in Miami early in the season like a drum. I mean, they're gonna win this game. Ohio State's terrible.
And I'm right between
you guys. This is not a good Ohio State team. The writing, and this is what they're going to say. This is what they're going to say after the game. The writing was on the wall because this defense has been terrible all season, and they are terrible, and they're terrible against the run, and that's what Michigan State is going to punch it right in the face. You watch. We've seen it a million times, and we've seen Ohio State at this point in the season, and sometimes against unranked Michigan State teams that just get it hung on them in these games.
Can I advertise my pack before I get out of here?
Well, is that your free pick? Was Ohio State?
My free pick was the Miami University Hurricanes laying the points, but I believe that Ohio State is the better of the two picks, and I don't think you'll have any trouble.
It's the sucker
cashing
of
your
the
ticket.
bets. The line opened at 20 in this game. You know, it did. It's not.
Yeah, it did, and it went down a bit, but it went the way it was supposed to go. And now it's back up again.
I mean, what is
Because
it supposed to go? The way
action.
that you bet it, Brian? I mean, that's just. I mean, it's
No,
ridiculous.
but I think the people, other than Ohio State fans, and they have a lot of them, the people that look on the outside, see a Michigan State team ranked getting almost 3 touchdowns, and that's going to be an automatic
because
bet for
Ohio State needs it to make the playoff. They got to run it up because they're going to
They
make the
gotta run it
playoff.
up.
Whatever. They can't. They're not good enough. They're going to
They
lose
also have
outright.
injuries too.
They're going to lose outright. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, if they do, I will apologize.
Go ahead. Up. You don't need to apologize. I'm going to be cashing. I'm going to parlay it up with my other dog that I like that you're on the other side of.
Okay.
Believe me, I'm going to
be a lot of text.
You know, I'm going to get myself that restored El Camino I've been looking at.
Ooh. Yeah, I like El Caminos.
Business in the front, party in the back. What are you selling today?
Today I got my the best thing to do is get my avoid the early trap 3-pack. It's 3 games that start at 12 noon. All 3 games for $40 at pickdogs.com, or subscribe long term with one of these other great guys on the site. I have 7 total picks a day, which is usually not good for me when I go above 5, but I had to add a college basketball, NBA. Love all 7 picks, so pick them up at pickdogs.com.
All right. Well, Brian, thanks for joining us. Thanks for that insight.
We had fun.
Yeah, we always do. We love unsubstantiated crap talk. We specialize in it. Anyways, good luck.
We'll see you later, Brian.
Good luck on your date. I hope you score.
We'll see him before that.
It's Brian Bittler. He's got a big date tonight. So we laid it all out for him. We did everything but make the reservations for him yesterday. If you guys missed yesterday's show, I thought it was one of the best shows we ever had, to be honest with you.
It was a lot of fun.
You know,
I really enjoyed yesterday's show.
I mean, you could, I didn't even know what a charcuterie board is. So I had this discussion with my wife afterwards, and she showed me like pictures of her friends on Facebook eating their charcuterie on Friday nights, having it out, like they have their charcuterie board and their glasses of wine and, sit there watching, some program, on TV or something that they watch together, or sitting out by the fire pit,
Yeah, it's definitely a great way to spend a Friday night. I made one last night.
Eating some dried meat.
Well, I'm in it for the cheeses more than the meat.
Joe's in it for the cheese.
I am.
Do you ever put
Love
hot
my
sauce
cheese.
on your charcuterie? Like, because we know you're big on the hot sauce, and it's like probably not a hot sauce thing, but it could be, right?
Absolutely. I do. And then I'll put some jalapenos out too.
How about mayo? You're
Fresh
also a big
jalapenos.
mayo person. How about mayo?
No, not with charcuterie.
No?
No.
All right.
You get enough cream from the cheese. And then I like fresh avocados on my charcuterie board as well. So they're creamy as well.
Well, if there's someone that knows their way around the charcuterie board, it's Chris Ruffalo, that's for sure. I think that it might be a little bit too. It's like Chris Ruffalo is the only one that I think, like, you look at the charcuterie board and you see the little dried meats and then a giant T-bone steak in the middle of it. That would be the Ruffalo charcuterie board. He's got like the full roast, He's got the the napkin bundled up. He's carving the roast on the charcuterie board. It's like right over the cheeses. I'm just looking for his name here. There we go. Anyways, Chris, welcome to the show. Been doing a lot of the college basketball videos with me. I appreciate it. Definitely could. I think more coverage is always a good thing. That's that's the Mitch way, that I started with at my original college football place site. Brought it over to Sports Shop Place, and now here at Pick Dogs. Is he frozen? I think he is. I think Ruffalo's frozen.
He's pulling a Joe move.
Yeah.
Right there.
Fake freezing bolt.
He does it much better than me, though. He's not even blinking, so he must be truly frozen.
He is frozen. We'll have to bring him out.
Yep.
Anyways, Ruffalo will be back in a second, I'm sure. Hopefully.
Most definitely will.
We've
got quite a few more guests today, Mitch. It's going to be a lot of fun.
He said he's coming back. The computer rebooted on him.
Oh. I hate when it does that. So, Mitch, which game is going to make your big screen today?
In the early games, it's going to probably be Michigan State, Ohio State on the big screen. Oklahoma State, Iowa State on a smaller. And Florida State, Boston College is another circle game for me. I'm going to have that on one of the smaller TVs as well. I'm also looking at Clemson Wake early. So those are the four.
That will be a good game as well.
Those are the four that I'll have early. Then when we move into that 3:30 p.m. slot, I'm looking more at the Michigan-Maryland game, Wisconsin-Nebraska, Cincinnati, SMU, Minnesota, Indiana, of course, Arkansas, Alabama will be my games in that time slot. And then as we move on throughout the day, at 5:30, Baylor, Kansas State's going to find its way onto one of my TVs. Of course, Virginia Tech, Miami will go on the big screen. Oregon against Utah, probably one of the smaller ones. And then we'll do the Boise, New Mexico game. I just love the games on the blue turf. Just love it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's going to be so many great games. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of them early, but I'll be back for these night ones.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your set. The field is blue. Ruffalo. We lost him. We have Brian Bittler's empty seat. Okay.
Having a little bit of technical difficulties, guys. Sorry about that.
Let's see.
We get him in here in a second.
Yep. We'll try our best. We got time. We're running ahead, which is always good. This is why you run ahead of schedule. In case you have Ruffalo.
Definitely.
In case you have Ruffalo on the show. Which we do. He's not frozen. So, Chris, where we last left off, now he's frozen. Now he's kind of like just having internet issues, right? Does he know he's on?
So. I don't think he knows he's on right now. Could be interesting.
Yeah, this is fun. We'll just leave him. We'll leave him on.
Let's see what Ruffalo does.
Don't do that. Whatever you do.
Oh man.
He can't hear us.
No, he cannot.
But he knows he's on. So you can only imagine what's going on here. Is he muted on
He knows.
Skype? Is that the issue?
I believe he is muted on Skype.
No, he's left us.
No.
I got some issues. Might have to skip him and bring Rod in. I think that's
Sounds good.
I think that's what we'll do. Let me see. Lost my stuff here. All right. Well, this is the beauty of live YouTube. You don't get a chance to edit. But let's see if we could. I don't see Chris coming back, so we'll try Rod this time.
Yep.
Rod is muted too. Let's see.
That's pretty good now.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get you in. And weird because I don't see on my menu. Oh, there you are. All right. Well, kind of different order than we're used to seeing, but we got Rod on with us. Rod, how's it going?
Going good.
Got
nice Saturday.
Second to last college football Saturday of the year. We'll have championship Saturday, and we got tons of bowl games, but as far as true college football Saturdays, this is our second to last one. Of course, next week, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we got football. And Friday, we got a giant card of football. No, not giant, but a lot bigger than we're used to seeing on Fridays. It's the best Friday college football card of the year. And then, of course, next Saturday that's it. So we've still got plenty of stuff, though, to keep us occupied. Of course, NHL and others.
And then the exciting bowl season starts. So,
yeah.
Lots of stuff going on.
We got a giant NHL card today. Is there any you want to give everybody kind of a side NHL pick here before we get started?
Sure, give me 1 second. Let me have a quick boo, and I'll throw you one out there.
This is what happens when you catch people off guard.
Right. I wasn't ready.
I see a couple Mitchy Pucks picks here that I could give out, actually. The Islanders finally playing a home game here. Against
right, and it looks like they might lose that home
against
game.
Calgary. Well, they're favored. Got
well, I know they're favored, but that doesn't mean anything. They still have to put the puck in the net.
Maple Leafs are playing. They're always good for a fade.
It's tough. The first home game after that crazy start to the season.
Well, we can get.
Here's one for you.
Go ahead.
Here's one I'm looking at. I like. If you look at the Flyers, they've been playing some pretty good hockey. I know they just lost that last game, but they're in there and they've been fighting and battling. Here's a good one. Bruins on the road have just been awful this season. So take the nice plus money with the Flyers here to beat the Bruins. Who you look at their numbers, they have been awful on the road this season. So I think the Flyers can get the Bruins napping. I think in that lower, hard-hitting affair, take the Flyers. Nice plus money there.
I see some Mitchy Pucks plays here now that I've got a chance to look at the hockey. So I'm excited for this one. But what do you got for us for college football today?
College football, we're going to go with I'm going to take Cincinnati here in their big game. We need to come out and roll over SMU in this one. SMU has not been good on the road. And I'm like, Cincinnati should be able to slow down SMU's offense with their solid defense. And then Cincinnati, here, they could take advantage of the weak pass defense by SMU in this game. You know, the Mustangs, 1-4 ATS their last as a dog. They're also 1-4 ATS their last 5 as a road dog. Cincinnati, 4-1 their last 5 versus a team with a winning record. I think the Cincinnati Bearcats come in here and roll over SMU and get their good statement win that they keep looking for and keep rolling along. So I like Cincinnati in this one. Big.
Joe?
It is so hard for these teams to keep rolling undefeated. I'm worried about Cincinnati tonight for sure with this many points, but I think it's the only way I could take this game because I can't get behind SMU. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 as an underdog. This is a stay off for me. You know, it's Seniors Day. Cincinnati should get it, but I don't trust in it enough to make it one of my bets at all. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I like Cincinnati here. I think that they're sick of hearing about not running up the score, and I just think that they're a lot more physical team here than SMU, and I think that's where the problem's going to be. I think SMU is going to throw the ball, but I think what's going to happen is Cincinnati's going to get to the lead, and it's going to be basically they're going to know that they're throwing. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Rod here as well. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bearcats. I think this is the blowout statement win. Makes it even tougher for the pollsters.
What do you guys like for the total on this? The under has hit 5 of the last 5 meetings between these two.
I like the over.
You think
I like the over too because I think SMU can get enough to get us over that total, and I think Cincinnati runs right over them.
I think unless
easily
the only way it hits
40s,
under is if Cincinnati shuts them out.
Yeah.
Really is.
I don't see that.
I don't see it happening either. But Rod, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
For me, over at Pick Dogs today, I've got my Super Saturday stiff arms. I've got 7 college football games I absolutely love. We crushed our 10-star executive info yesterday on college hoops, our college basketball, our college football. So much sports going on ahead. We got 7. We swept the board last Saturday. We're 6-0-1. Run our last 7. So I'm rolling along with college football. I'm trying to sweep the board again today. Jump aboard and get my Super Saturday stiff arms in college hoops or college football. And I also got a 3-pack, my NHL hat trick. Another one capper up over at Pick Dogs, and I'm excited for my favorite day and best day in hockey, Saturday night hockey. I got 3 best bets over there, and we light the lamp as we continue to cross-check the books and cash in. So, I'm going college football or NHL over at Pick Dogs Premium.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Rod. We appreciate it as always. We'll see you in just a little bit on the VIP show, and of course, every day right here on Pick Dogs Morning.
Thanks for having me. Excited. Big day.
Rod Zawacki, of course, with us as always. I believe Ruffalo is back and audible and all of those kind of good things. Depends on how you look at it. I think we mentioned that charcuterie board, and I think it just sent him over the edge. I think that was more than he could handle. It's kind of like my dog with a tennis ball. It's like all of a sudden he just forgets everything he ever knew, and it's like he hears charcuterie, and well, he's in. Chris, you got that roast ready for the charcuterie board?
That's how you know it's my computer. You hear the word charcuterie and everything shuts down.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. That's my bone. That's my bone to pick with you two. There's a charcuterie board conversation, and I'm not on the show. What's that about?
Yeah, it's
Someone's got some explaining to do.
Well, you got it's that time of year, and like I was saying to everybody before, it's you have you've been doing the videos with me on college basketball, or you've been doing college basketball videos at Pick Dogs. How's that going? You like that, or?
I love doing the videos. It's something I'm doing every day as it is. Definitely to be able to get more free winners out for everybody. It's I can't ask for anything more. I love college. It's my favorite time of the year. Just like you love college football, I love college hoops. This is what I've been doing since day one. So definitely, it's been a blast doing so far. I can't wait to see what else we're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah, I think that the next step that you and Joe will probably be doing some videos together as well, and with some of the other cappers and stuff. So I'm excited.
Absolutely, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited to see it. So. What do you got today in college football for everyone?
Well, I got a couple of free plays that I like, and this one may not be a popular pick, but you look at this Rutgers and Penn State matchup. Penn State coming off that loss to Michigan, a heartbreaking loss with a pass to a tight end that I don't know how that breaks off, but that's another story for another day. But it still means that Penn State, still have 6 wins on the year. And, they're just pretty much waiting for their postseason fate to be decided. They've already been slated into probably a mid-level bowl game. Meanwhile, Rutgers comes into this one, 5-5 on the year. They haven't clinched bowl eligibility yet. I'm not sure they want to leave it to an all-deciding game next week against Maryland. I just think that this is a Rutgers team that can run the football on Penn State. We saw Illinois do the same thing to Penn State in their upset win earlier this season. I'm going to be taking Rutgers plus the points, but my favorite player is Rutgers on the money line at plus 650. I think this is, an all-important game for the Scarlet Knights. I think we see the most inspired effort we've seen from Greg Schiano's team all season. And, just from a Penn State team that I think is just disinterested at this point, just waiting to find out where they're going in the postseason.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, I'm completely with you on this. Rutgers plus the points just barely missed hitting my premiums today. I absolutely love it, though. Money line, it 100% could happen. I'd definitely sprinkle on that. And I like the under because I think this is going to be a low scoring, just battle to the end in the trenches. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I think what we've seen, from Penn State is just so much inconsistency this season. And, it's like they seem to get really up for the good teams. Like we saw them play Ohio State really tough. And, they played Michigan fairly tough for most of the game, and Auburn. But, when they play against these Illinois and of the world, they just seem to be flat as a pancake. And, I think very possible that Rutgers could take them out today.
Definitely one of my favorite plays on the board. The other one, I'm looking at this Louisiana and Liberty matchup, and I'm taking another money line dog here. I'm on Louisiana on the money line. Liberty, that's 7-3 on the year, and they're going to go as far as Malik Willis takes them. But I still have a little bit of PTSD from being on the wrong side of that Louisiana Monroe game where I think Liberty was laying 32.5 in that one and lost outright. So, the loss to Louisiana Monroe not as bad as it would have been in years past, considering that ULM's actually won 4 or 5 games this year, but still not a loss that you want to have if you're a improving Liberty program under Hugh Freeze. When you lose that kind of game, it kind of puts you on the national spotlight for the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, Louisiana, this is a team that can ground and pound Liberty, and they can keep the ball out of Willis's hands. And Levi Lewis has been an absolute stud. This is a guy that does not lose often. And Louisiana Raging Cajuns just on fire right now. I think they push for that 10th win this season, and I think they get it in this one. I think they beat Liberty outright. You could take the points, but my play is going to be here, Louisiana on the money line.
Joe?
Absolutely love it. Parlay that with Rutgers. What a payday that would be. Give me the over in this one, though. I think both these defenses have so many holes. Both teams are going to light up the board. I absolutely love the over.
Yeah, for me, it's like I had Liberty in that game against Louisiana Monroe, so, they're dead to me. I mean, that's really where they're at. And we saw last week against Ole Miss, Liberty played, and really all the points that they scored, anything that they did was in garbage time after the game had been settled. And they had a chance to backdoor cover at the end, and they couldn't even get that right. This quarterback is rated like one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, but I haven't seen it. I mean, if you can't beat, like last year in the draft, I loved Mac Jones because he had shown he can win, and I think winning is an important thing. I thought the same thing when Justin Herbert was coming out, that here's a guy that proved he can win. And I think I really liked about Justin Herbert at Oregon was that they had to basically physically remove him from the field to take him out of a game. He didn't care what the score was, up or down. He was that type of guy. And I like those type of guys. But I don't see that, at Liberty. I just don't see it. But what I see is a Louisiana team, like you said, and just big motor, I like motor guys. I like motor teams. And I think Louisiana has that. And I think that for some reason, Liberty this year is not as good as the Liberty team that we saw last year. I just don't think they're as good. The line looks a little fishy. I don't care. I think this game's a field goal game at most, and I think Louisiana's got a chance to win it outright. Lost your volume.
Sorry, I didn't want to be clicking in the background while you were talking, but I'm just trying to find Malik Willis' game logs here because, like you said, Rich, I haven't been impressed with him either. I know he's a dual threat, and I know he's definitely a guy that's gonna be the talk of the early rounds of the NFL draft. But I think there's only so much that can be said for how he's performing. Like you said, if you lose a game to ULM, then probably not something that you want to be writing home about. But yeah, he's had a couple 100-yard rushing games this season, and he's been taking care of the football pretty well. But again, against Ole Miss last week, he threw 3 interceptions and was only held to 71 rushing yards. So definitely, I think Louisiana's in play here if they can keep Willis at bay.
All right. Well, what do you got for sale today at Big Dogs?
I got a couple different 5-packs for the college sports today. I got my Saturday sweeper, my college football 5-pack, 5 plays on the board that I have a really strong feeling we're going to go 5-0 with today because I absolutely love these plays. Save the best for last. Some of my favorite college football plays of the entire season. So check that out, as well as my 5-point swing for college basketball. Again, 5 more plays that I don't think you can go wrong with it, and I wouldn't be surprised we could sweep the board there as well. Got my NBA black card if you're just looking for something in the association today as well. Tons of options over at Pick Dogs, as well as the Puck Dogs package with myself and Rod Zawacki. We're going to be tearing it up as well today. Lots of opportunities to make money over at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. Of course, we appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow here on the live show for NFL Sunday.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys then.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Ruffalo, of course, a regular, and he's been a regular forever on our shows. Of course, we are heading up to that anniversary of Christmas Eve when the term Ruffalo was invented. straight Ruffalo.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was.
I didn't know that's when it was invented.
Yes, Christmas Eve, one game on the board. Chris said he was going to pass, and hence the term Ruffalo was born.
That's when it was born. I absolutely love this story.
When your name becomes like a catchphrase, that's when you know you've made it. So absolutely,
we need to start hashtagging that and things.
I use it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I know Chris he doesn't like it as much as we do, but that's okay. It's what makes it more fun. But we've got Jovan with us, so we're going to bring him on in a hurry here and see what he has to say about college football Saturday. Jovan, welcome to the show. We tried to get you on a couple times this morning, but sounds like you got some company over there.
Yes, I do.
Absolutely do. Someone doesn't like Joe Madden. Someone doesn't like Joe Madden's voice. That's what it is. Can't be me.
It absolutely must be my voice.
But we gotta get through it, so let's get it.
Well, what do you got going on today in college football?
Well, for my free play, we're gonna go to Big Ten land. We're gonna go to Happy Valley at Penn State, and we're gonna take a look at Rutgers. Now, I like Graciano. Good hard-nosed defensive coach. Been the defensive coordinator in the NFL and college football. Been a long-time head coach, a couple stints in Rutgers, and I think that with the way that they played last week, might set this up nicely against a Penn State team who, quite frankly, dropped the ball against Michigan last week. And I think they're gonna be feeling the effects, this week. Whenever these teams play is low scoring, Penn State usually, manhandles them. But I just think in this one, with the fact that Sean Clifford hasn't been right, for the past 5-6 weeks, and the fact that Rutgers is 7-0 in their last 7 games as a road underdog and 9-1 in the last 10 road games, Rutgers gets the call for me.
Joe?
Sorry, I was muted there for a second. Yeah, I agree. And, with you and Chris both on this, I really wish this was one that made my premium picks because it's one that I've been liking all week. I really think Rutgers does come out strong, and taking them plus the points in a game that's going to be so low scoring today, definitely think it's the best way to take it.
I think Penn State is also somewhat sidetracked here with all the James Franklin rumors flying, where he could be headed. And, I don't think he's at Penn State next year. I think there's going to be a ton of coaching moves in the next week. So I could see Mario Cristobal to Miami. I could see James Franklin to USC, all the ones that make sense, I could even see Dave Aranda to LSU. Those are my predictions off the top of my head. What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, so I got a 9-pack, Saturday shootout all day 9-pack, 9 plays that I think is going to hit. With these last couple weeks in college football, you really have to tread lightly, especially next week with the rivalry games. But this week, there's a lot of what looks like mismatches, but may not be. So I think I have 9 that I waded through the weeds and so I picked some winners, and they're for the people to enjoy. For a price of course $49.99. But so check me out on that. I'm not gonna have any basketball today, but I'll have that tomorrow. So, there it is.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on board. And, we appreciate you taking the time. We'll see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday.
Absolutely. See you tomorrow.
Once again, Jovan Burtz makes it on with baby in tow. Baby's in a good mood this morning and loves college football. So probably just really sad that the season's coming to an end. It just college football, it just comes and then it just goes in a hurry like that. But,
oh, for sure, it's been a blink, Mitch. I actually can't believe how fast the season's gone.
Yep, it happens. It happens fast, right? It's like before you know
Yeah.
it, it's like it's that beginning of the season. Oh, it's just the beginning of the year, and then you get to November, and all of a sudden it's all over. And it's the same way with all the sports, college basketball. NFL, we've turned the corner into the second half of the season as well. So just a lot of college basketball and just getting started. And the NBA, it feels like it just got started, but we're already almost a quarter of the way through the season with that as well. But bring in Big Al McMorty. Al, welcome to the show. Of course.
Hey guys.
Of course, we got a massive Saturday. We're getting into these rivalry games. The weather is starting to, look like college football weather, and the weather we associate with it. It's kind of all coming together here. So, how you doing today?
I'm good. I think I might have told you I'm going off to Las Vegas today. I just screwed up my travel plans. I should have planned it better. I get in, after all the 3:30 games are pretty much ending. I should have planned it where I got in the morning, and I could have actually enjoyed the games. But oh well.
It happens. It's like with all this stuff, I guess from LA, it can't be that long of a flight though. So with the iPad and the phone and everything, you can pretty much set up your own sports book, in the airport, and I'm sure make a lot of friends that way too. And then outside of that, you probably on the plane, a lot of them have TVs now too. So
yeah. Well, it's not this. I just should have done it where I got in around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. rather than mid afternoon. Oh well.
I usually try and get in like on Tuesday before. That's how I do it. I would end up staying a couple days too long, but Vegas, always a good time. We know you're going to see Joe D'Amico out there, so wish him our best.
Yeah, having dinner with Joe tonight.
Yep. So wish Joe our best, of course, as always. But
where's he taking you for dinner?
We're going to Major Domo over at the Venetian or Palazzo.
Nice.
Joy. I haven't been to Vegas in a while. This is the longest it's been probably for since probably like 2005. This is like the longest it's been for me since I've been to Vegas. So it's been a couple of years now. It's crazy.
Wow.
But
we'll have to get you out there next summer.
Hopefully things are different, and who knows where I'll be and what'll be going on. But I hope to be out there soon, and yeah, definitely. But what do you got going on today? What do you like?
Well, first game I want to look at is the game between Navy and East Carolina. And this is an interesting situation. Navy has won 5 straight in this series, and they've been favored in each of the last 4 meetings, but they're not favored today, even though they're at home. East Carolina is a 4-point road favorite. So it's kind of a role reversal situation. And one of the things I like to do in college football is when I get that team that's lost, 5, 7, or 10 times in a row to its opponent, and it was an underdog in all or maybe all but one of those seasons, when they then become a favorite, it's actually a really good time to take a look at that team. And we saw just that situation last week in the Oregon State-Stanford. Oregon State had lost 11 meetings to the Cardinal, and they had lost by an average of, I think, like 24 points a game. And then last week, they were favored by 12.5 at home versus Stanford. And I had a big play on Oregon State, and they won that game by 21. And so that's sort of the situation here. You've got now East Carolina favored by 4 after losing the last 5 years to this Navy team. I'm sorry, East Carolina, yeah, favorite. So I'm going to take East Carolina as the road favorite. Navy also is pretty bad at home when they match up against opponents off a straight up and against a spread win. And then when priced from -4 to +13 points, they're 0-14 ATS in that situation. So I think it all adds up to a Pirates win here.
Joe? East Carolina.
I'm worried about
East Carolina, kind of looking ahead to Cincinnati, a little bit of a look ahead spot.
Yeah.
But Navy,
and
not a great Navy team, sure.
No, it's not a great Navy team, but I think they're going to do enough to keep this one tight. I think Cincinnati on deck for East Carolina is huge. And I think this is a team that they're going to look past, knowing Navy's issues at home. I think they come into this one and they get the win by a field goal.
Yeah, this one, not a game exactly on my radar, that's for sure. So I know that, I see that East Carolina quarterback walk onto the field, and I'm always like, oh, man, not this guy again. But Navy at the same time has just been miserable. I'm kind of still bitter about, I know Al doesn't hold a grudge against teams. He looks, he starts fresh, wipes the slate clean every week. I unfortunately am not that good at it as he is at letting things go. And that touchdown before the half that they gave up against Notre Dame really left a mark on me. So kind of destroyed the whole game. Normally a game that they play super competitively, but I can agree with you here. I think this line looks a little funny too with East Carolina, looking now for their 7th win. They're going to be in a quality bowl game, better bowl game. They have a better record than Florida.
So then the other game I want to look at, guys, it's another under the radar game, shall we say. It's Louisiana State against Louisiana Monroe, and LSU is off 3 straight losses to Ole Miss, Alabama, and Arkansas, and now they're favored by 29 at home versus Monroe. And when you take a look at how 20-point or greater home favorites do off 3 or more losses, they're 40 and 23 against the spread going back to 1980. So that's one reason I like Louisiana State here. Another is you take a look at how they do against their little sisters from the Sun Belt, shall we say, how LSU has done over the years versus Monroe and versus Lafayette. They've played them 6 times. So they don't play them that often, which is a little bit surprising, but they've played them 6 times. They're 6-0 straight up. They're 6-0 ATS. And they've had, I think, like 3 or 4 shutouts of those 6 games, and they've won by a combined score of 255-13. So it's like 42-2. So a lot of times you see these, big state universities, when they play those little schools within the state, you see the little schools rise up and, kind of play well against Big Brother, but that doesn't happen here. It's almost as if LSU says, like, we're not going to let you guys, do anything against us. It seems like they take pride in stomping these little schools, from the Sun Belt in Louisiana. So I'm going to take Louisiana State here and lay the 29.
Joe, LSU needs to win out to go bowling. They've got Texas A&M on tap next week. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think they do. I think LSU has a huge day, especially considering what Louisiana Monroe's defense is giving up point-wise, 47.5 points per game on the road. There is no way I think LSU comes and steamrolls.
I'm with you. Louisiana Monroe had the big win against Liberty. I think that was their season. They've followed it up with another win, but since then we've seen that the quarterback play has been absolutely miserable. I mean, they lost at home to Arkansas State. So going on the road here to Baton Rouge, Coach O's second to last game, possibly as head coach of the Tigers. He's probably going to roll it up for the home crowd. I like LSU in this one. LSU also has a lot of players on their roster that, despite the 4-6 record, they have a lot of guys that are headed to the NFL. So they probably a lot of scouts at this game. They're going to need to showcase these guys, and they're going to showcase them. I like this one. This one could get real ugly in a hurry.
So over at Pick Dogs Premium, guys, I've got 15 selections today. I've got 7 in college football, 3 in the NBA, and 5 in college basketball. I'm going to pass in hockey today. I'm on a little run here over the past 8 weeks, 175 and 119. That's 200, if I can do math, 284 games, something like that, 294 games. So if folks want to get on board, you can join for a week or a month and get all of my selections over that time, and also team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs.
So we have our Become a Capper contest going on at Pick Dogs. Starts December 1st. Any advice for all of these people that are ready to become a capper? I don't have a JV site. There's no Mitch's Memo out there. There's only, Pick Dogs and Sport Chat. So they're going to be with us right here on the show, Al. Any advice for these guys?
Well, sure. How long does the contest run?
Contest runs from December 1st to December 31st. So all from December 1st through the college football championship games and then conference championship games. Then we have a good portion of the bowl season through the college football playoff. And then, of course, any NFL games, college basketball, and NBA and NHL mixed in. So we're only sticking to those 5 sports. And you can't do money lines of greater or less than so if you do money line, plus 175 is the max that we're allowing it. So you can't just, be way out of it and take gigantic underdogs and, hope to hit.
But it'll be just like net wins, net profit. Is that the
net profit? So minus 110 on a loss, plus 100 on a win, and money lines are what they are. If you take a money line favorite that's more than minus 175, it's a loss automatically. If you take a money line dog, the max it will pay is plus 175. So you can take a bigger money line dog than that, but it's only going to pay plus 175.
Well, the only advice I would give would be pretty intuitive. Just give out games you really like and don't give out games you don't.
It's three per day max, so it's like, that's the whole idea. Dial it in. And it's like, we've had good luck with these in the past. We've got James Clark and Jovan from our contest last year. And like I said, no reason to have a minor league site or anything like that, because anyone that can knock down the field that we're going to have for this contest. Last year we had about 400 or 500 people enter. Generally, it's not 1 week or anything like that. If you can put together a win, and I was surprised how many people had a winning month last year, but I'm expecting to see some heavy duty competition out there. A lot of people claiming they are going to win.
Did I ever tell you how I actually got into this business way back in 1991, 92?
No, but I'd love to hear it.
Real quick, because you just reminded me of all of this. It all just came back. So there's this guy named Pork Chop down in Grapevine, Texas. I don't know if you remember Pork Chop and, the Bounty Hunter and Steve Turner of Texas Sports Bar, that crew. But anyway, Pork Chop I made his acquaintance, but he didn't know my name. I would leave plays for him on his voicemail recording, and I left like 6 plays for him one day and all 6 won. So he then was a great marketer, and he had this contest, and he called me the Phantom. And he said, I don't know who this Phantom is, but he's the best handicapper I've ever seen. The Phantom contest over 2 successive weeks. And he said to all the people who would, call and listen to his free recorded message line, if anyone can beat the Phantom, you had to pick 15 games on a Saturday, in college basketball. He goes, you would get a free week of Pork Chop service. And so I'd gone 6-0 in football, like to get this whole thing started. Then for the beat the Phantom thing, I went 11-4 one week in college basketball, and then 12-3 the next week in college basketball. And then that's how it got started. After that, he was like, he put me in business, and he bought a 900 line for me. And then we split the profits for about 6 months, and then broke off on my own. But that was sort of how that all got started back in 1991, 92.
And that's how it happens. And it's like, we're hoping to find the next Big Al. We're hoping to find the next Joe Madden. We're hoping to find the next, whatever, or the newest or whatever, the latest, greatest. I'm excited. I think, finding Jovan and James, these guys are just getting started in the industry, and we've seen the runs that they've been able to put together. And I know there's some good cappers out there, and I know there's some people that, think they're really good cappers, and we'll see if we'll see how they do when they don't just get to say they're winners, when they have to, it's kind of like on Jeopardy.
Absolutely.
When you don't count the negatives, right? It's like you just sit there and yell out the answers that but you don't count the ones that you got wrong, right? They don't count against you. And Wheel of Fortune, where it's always your turn, right? When you're watching it, a thing. But I think it's going to be fun to see. I think it's always fun to see. And we have a new rule this year that if you're more than 2,000 units out of the lead, you're out of the contest. So you got to really, really, pick your spots, like you said. And if somebody can run away and hide from the field, welcome aboard, right? That's what I say. You can put together a 2,000 unit lead over, a field of 500 cappers. You're in. That would be super impressive, especially, given the rules, that you can't make these giant money line dog bets.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. I can't wait to watch.
All right. Well, thanks again for. Oh, what do you have today at Pick Dogs? Did you say?
Oh, sure. Well, I think I mentioned I've got 15 plays.
You can mention again.
Mention again. Okay, I've got 7 plays in college football, including my number 1 college football favorite of the month. So if you like to play chalk as opposed to underdogs, you don't want to miss that play. I've got a triple pack in the NBA, and then I've got a 5-game package in college basketball. The college basketball package is primarily early games with 1 game at night, but you get all 5 for one low price. And so 15 plays today.
All right. Well, Al, thanks for joining us. That actually wraps up today's show. I think we've covered everyone. We appreciate everyone that's joined us today. Al, knock them dead in Vegas. I know that some people they welcome at the door. Other people like this is what people used to say to me, right, in Vegas, like, oh, don't you get to write off your losses, on your taxes? Like, it doesn't really work that way.
If only.
If only, you know, it's like, they're like, oh, don't you get a sheet? You got to write off your loss. I think that's like for the slot players or something. It's like, I've never gotten the chance yet. Normally I get the little ticket. They make you fill out the form and you're stuck at the window from hitting the superfecta or something. And I hope you hit some supers today at the book. But thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to smash the like button. The way to enter the Become a Capper contest is follow us on Instagram or Twitter. That's where the contest will be run. Joe Madden's running the contest, so her and Rod. So knock yourselves out.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to
numbers will be out soon.
You'll be able to hang out on Saturdays, talk college football with Joe Madden, myself, and now. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to try like crazy to act more professional tomorrow. I promise.